Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. So today I'm doing another review. So I picked this up. If you guys watched my videos, I purchased this thing. So this was like a retro game player. So this is mainly for NES games. I bought this for about $5. But then I picked up another one because, like I was saying in the last video, which was that I was looking to play some games like Castlevania and stuff, which this other game machine did not have. So basically I picked this up and it's a lot better than what I expected. I'm just gonna go through it real quickly. I won't cover all the games because there's so many games on this little machine. So this is called a Data Frog SF2000. So that's the instruction manual that came with it. It came in this box here. And what you get with the box is you get a USB-C charging cable, which is pretty flimsy. I don't really like it. You have a mini micro, or how should I say, micro SD card reader that you can plug into your computer. And then you get an AVI cord. It's mono, so it's only got a video and one what do you call it, input, and you got this kind of weird or headphone jack style that plugs in. So it's very simple design. Looks like an SNES controller. It's got your start button, select button here, and then you got this exact same layout as a SNES controller. So underneath you have your USB-C, and what I didn't know is it actually comes with a micro SD card. So I actually bought another micro SD card thinking that I needed it to install some other games, but I'm going to go into that too. And it's got a volume controller at the bottom and the port here for your cable. So basically this thing works off of what do you call it, lithium battery, probably 18650, which I actually haven't even opened it. I didn't even bother looking at it. It comes with this analog style controller here, and you get your standard D-pad. I've been using mainly the D-pad, not really so much this thing. So I'm going to switch it on. I'm going to go through quickly what it has. So as you can see, it covers arcade games. You can actually install ROMs, cover that a little bit. So you have your regular NES games, also known as the Famicom, or then you have your Super Nintendo games or your Super Famicom, and your Sega Genesis Mega Drive games, your Game Boy games, Game Boy Color games, Game Boy Advance games, and then back to the original. So the machine itself has a little song here as you select your games. Most of the games in the arcade, I would say, works very well. Hopefully I don't get hit with a copyright, but I'm going to show you guys a couple of games. Maybe I'm going to turn on the volume just so that you can see how it works. I'm going to play I don't know, I'm just going to quickly pick Street Fighter here. Standard Street Fighter game. I don't think there's any issue with sound, so I'm just going to play it as is. So most of the games, they work pretty good. The button layout is a little bit odd. So your jab button is here, your strong button is there. When you play arcade games, select is usually your coin. So you're going to select your coin, and then you're going to press start, and then just pick somebody. So like I said, your jab is here, your strong is here. You can change the layout, but then some games work better this way, some don't. So as you can see here, you know, like it works the way it's supposed to. And it's kind of, there's a little bit of choppiness going on, but it's not as bad as it seems. Or maybe you can't even tell through the computer, but so I'm going to stop it there. So you can actually save your, so let me go back to the game. So let's pick another game. So I'm just going to pick this game here. So it loads its ROMs when you're playing the arcade games. And so I'm going to play this. So if you ever want to, like, I'm going to turn on the volume here. So when you want to save your status or your state, I guess you should say, press start and select together, and then you can save your status here. And you can load it. You can also quit your game and then resume it. So I'm going to just quit here, go through it real quickly so you guys can see what's on here. I'm going to stop at one of the games here. So for Forgotten Worlds, this is one game that I played and I actually passed it. So this game, you cannot spin. No matter, I haven't figured out how to do it, but you just cannot spin. So you're kind of stuck in a position and you're just gonna have to play the game as is. But you basically have unlimited coins because you could just keep hitting select. And I passed this game, oddly enough, by just one motion here. So yeah, like you said, you can't spin it. No matter what you do, there's no way to spin your character. So there's some fault there. I'm gonna go through it real quickly. What else you see here is pretty much what you get. So this is straight out of the box. All of these games that are here, I'm not sure if you can see them all clearly, but I'm just gonna go through it real quickly because, like I said, there's just so many games. But for the arcade games, most of the games are SNK games. You get a few Capcom games, but more or less they're all Neo Geo games. So here's another thing. So all the Nintendo games work perfectly fine, and there's like a long list of games. As you can see, there's 868 games here. They cover pretty much everything, and they had what I wanted, which is the Castlevania, some other popular games. You got Final Fantasy, Dragon Quest or Dragon Warrior, Super Mario's. Everything here, like I said, works very, very good. There's no issues. I haven't had any issues so far, but I haven't played every single game here yet. But yeah, so going through this real quickly, I mean, I'm gonna just kind of speed right through it. I'm sorry if there's something that you have a question on, if the game is available on the machine, please just leave a comment down below and I'll check it for you. But it pretty much covers most of the games. There's a couple of games that are missing from like the Famicom. Like I used to like Captain Tsubasa. I don't see that here. Some of the games too, they are named differently. That happens here in the arcade game, as well as some of the Nintendo games. So like this Shadow Warriors. Shadow Warriors in America, this was actually called Ninja Gaiden. This was the arcade version of Ninja Gaiden. And I'm just going to show you guys what that looked like real quickly. So some of the people who are into retro games, they might be more familiar with it. Some games, when you load it, they take a very long time to load. That's just something that you're just gonna have to wait it out, and it will load. You just have to wait it maybe about 30 seconds or something like that, which I'm not sure why this is not loading. Let's just resume it. And let's see here. So as you can see here, it is the old Ninja Gaiden. So some games, like I said, they are not named correctly, and you're just gonna have to kind of go through them. Let me go back here. So going back to Super Famicom or Super Nintendo games do not work well. So that's one thing I do not understand why. I don't know if it's like the bit rate or what. They just all are very clunky. Let me just pick any game. Let me play a game that is very common, like let's see here. So basically all the Super Nintendo games, they're very clunky. They don't sound right, they don't play right. I'm very disappointed because there are a lot of games here that are very good, but just for whatever reason they just don't play right. So I'm going to show you guys Super Mario World, and it's very, very clunky. So as you can see, it's taking its time loading, and you can see it's very clunky. So even it doesn't even register my buttons. That's how bad it is. So basically it's unplayable. And as you can see, it just freezes pretty much the whole game machine, and it just rebooted by itself because it just can't handle it for whatever reason. So that is a kind of a very big negative for this game machine, because everything else is very good. Mega Drive or Sega Genesis, it works very perfect. There's no issues. Game Boy, there's no issues. The sad thing is with Game Boy though, you're unable to play this under the color. Like, I don't even understand why there's a color version when all the Game Boy games could be played on color. But I guess that's just not how it works. But you can see there's 1,000 some games there, and there's another 1,000 games for the color. Game Boy Advance is pretty much the same with Super Nintendo. So you play, certain games work actually fine. I was playing Breath of Fire on this. Works perfectly fine, but when you come back to like the same game again, which is like Super Mario Advance, again, it's like Super Mario World, it comes back to being clunky. I'm not even sure if you can hear that, but even the music starts to lag. It is a bit better that you can play it, but it's pretty bad. So you can see it moves smoother, but it's still having that same issue of being clunky. So just go through real quick. That's what you can see here. So there's so many games here. Some work, some won't work. Like I said, for Famicom, or I should say Super Famicom, Super Nintendo, it really, most of them I would say do not work. Going back to it, I didn't go through all the lists, but like I said, if you guys have any games that you're curious about, it's pretty much here. So you can load your own ROMs too. You just have to download them or whatever you got to do to get them, and you can install it through the SD card at the bottom here. I'm not sure if using a better SD card would make it work better. I don't think that would be any issue as to why it would lag. I think it's just the system itself. Overall, everything works very well. One bad thing though, so I played this light here. So when I switch it on, you're going to see a light come on here. It turns red. So this here has no indication for battery life. Also, the battery indicator at the very top here, it does not work. So do not go based off of this nor this to indicate your battery life. I played it until the battery died. What happened was the screen just kind of dimmed out slowly, gradually, and then it switched off. So, and I was a bit disappointed because I was thinking, oh, that's correct. That battery life is correct. This thing is lasting for a very long time. I'm not exactly sure how long the battery can last because I've never timed it that long. I just played it for multiple days. And just one day it just died. So I would say that maybe you can get about a few hours out of it, although I'm not exactly sure. I'm not sure if it even says in here, but I know that there are some updates that you can apply to the game machine. I haven't done it myself because I think it works fine as is. I'm not really that particular as to making it work exactly and perfectly the way that it was supposed to be, because this is sufficient for myself. I just play every so often and just like an hour at a time. So if you guys are looking for a game machine, a retro game machine, this is very good. Like I said, too bad though the Super Nintendo does not work. Maybe hopefully there will be something else that is on the cheaper side that I can get that will be one step up from this one. So I paid $14 for this thing. Free shipping came to my house. It was on sale. Typically when it's not on sale, it seems like it goes for about $20, which is also very fair. Like I said, this game machine I paid I think it was $8, but it came with an extra controller. But definitely paying double for this machine is well worth it. I wouldn't even bother with this one, although this is kind of good for like really young kids or whatever. Another con on this thing as well as this thing, they're both the same in that there's no way to turn on the screen brightness. So if you're playing this at night, this thing will be like burning your eyes because it is very bright, very bright. I'm not sure if you can tell that from the camera, but it is very bright. So I would recommend playing this in a well-lit room, and I do not recommend playing it at night with no lights on. Sound quality is very good, although it looks like it has dual speakers. It actually only has one speaker. If you, like I said, if you guys have any questions or comments, if you guys want to know if there's any particular game on this machine, let me know. I'll let you guys, I'll reply to you as soon as possible and let you guys know if that game is available. So that's pretty much all I have for you guys. Like, share, subscribe. See you guys next time. Thanks.